You know that only 1% of Grand Canyon visitors ever step below the rim? Even fewer cross it. I just joined that fraction. One step, one breath, one stumble at a time. And here's the crazy part. I thought I was training for a hike. Turns out, I was training to hear something I couldn't hear standing still.
Yeah, we about to grind. We about to lift. Yeah, we about to shine. We about to lift. Yeah, we about to grind. We about to lift. Yeah, we about to shine. We about to lift. Yeah, we about to grind.
What's good, family? It's your boy Marvin Keon, and this is Preacher Curls, where we build up the body and break down the belief system behind it. So today, we're talking about walking, not just physically, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Because what I just experienced on foot changed how I think about everything, from movement to mindset. In this episode, I'm going to break down what it really means to walk through something, not rush it, not skip it. You're going to hear what it was like to hike rim to rim across the Grand Canyon, and what the Bible says about walking, and how most of us have drifted from that simple discipline, and the powerful mental and physical benefits you've probably been overlooking. So, whether you've been feeling stuck, slowed down, or just ready to move forward again, this one for you. Y'all ready? Let's tap in. This trip was absolutely amazing. I mean, to experience God's nature and God's creativeness in this little ecosystem of just a different aspect of what I see on a day-to-day basis. I mean, I feel like I was on another planet. Like, it was insane. We started in the dark, headlamps, it was chilly, high winds, but we prayed and we walked. It was 6 of us, 6 God-fearing men, 6 men that committed to no matter what, we all made it out. We started this together and we were going to finish together. And that in itself, that experience, that opportunity to unite with people that you may not have even known before you started, but you found a reason to love, you found an opportunity to connect, that in itself was an amazing experience. And I'm thankful that I got to experience that with those other 5 men. So, but yeah, there were no shortcuts. There were no ride outs. You commit to the trail and either you finish or you don't. You're gonna deal with elevation. You're gonna deal with some heat. Thank God we actually had some beautiful weather. But there's natural fatigue. There's pain that you just can't plan for. Like, I experienced a lot of knee pain, but it was a lot more from the instability of my knee kind of doing this all day, which is good though, because now it tells me things that I need to train more, so that if I get another experience like this, I'll make sure that I do more training on unstable surfaces, maybe a lot more exercises that will help me, that are unilateral, that's going to help with my knee stability. But nonetheless, somewhere in all that pain, I realized something that was game changing. This is life. Because more time than not, you will not sprint. Most of the journey, you walk. One step, then another, then another. And I believe that walking is one of the most holiest acts that we can offer back to God. In Genesis 3:8, we see that Adam walked with God. In Genesis 5:24, we see Enoch walked with God. We know that Jesus walked everywhere, not rushed, not driven, he walked. 2 Corinthians 5:7 says we are called to walk by faith, not by sight. And the Israelites, I promise you, they didn't leap into the promised land. They walked for 40 years. So walking in the Bible is way more symbolic than we realize. It's an act of alignment. It's an act of patience. It's an act of trust. And it's an act of relationship. Did you know that the average American walks less than 4,000 steps a day? And so to give you a little context, on our first day of this hike, we walked over 40,000 steps, which is definitely a new PR for me. And no, you don't need to try to get 40,000 steps, but 4,000, yeah, that's not cutting it. So the issue is we replace walking with waiting, movement with scrolling. We're living in bodies that God built for action, but instead we sit still, stuck in our own heads. We treat walking like it's not real training. But Marvin, didn't you say we needed to lift?
shift. Learn, invest, focus, and train. Man, it's time to live.
Yes, I think absolutely everybody should eventually incorporate strength training into their lifestyle. But at the moment, if you're not doing nothing, then the absolute best thing that you could do right now is walk. And sidebar, even when you start lifting, there's never not a time where you don't need to incorporate steps. And maybe that's why we're mentally and spiritually weak nowadays. Because the one thing that I realized is that we lose a sense of rhythm from the lack of walking. Because there's a real rhythm when you begin to walk. And eventually that rhythm becomes what we call a stride. And in this stride, at some point, it even empowers us to sprint. But at the base, you have to have the rhythm of a walk. And a lot of people are missing that. Like, what if I told you that for 30 minutes of scrolling on your phone a day, you're going to lower your risk of heart disease, your risk of stroke, diabetes, depression. We're going to improve your circulation, your digestion, your hormone balance. We're going to reduce your cortisol. It's going to clear your mind. It's going to build low impact strength. And there's no need for you to spend any money. You just need to make a decision. Would you do it? Now, I'm not a gambling man, but I would go all in on this one. But in the same breath, if you ask me to replace scrolling with walking, then unfortunately, I would really have to consider my options. And that to me is wild. So today, I only really have one point that I want to leave you with. Keep walking. Keep going. And extrapolate this to whatever aspect of your life where you need to make steps. But the point is, whatever that thing is in your life that needs the rhythm of consistency, it will take the rhythm of steps. And one great way to create that rhythm is walking. And the issue is, some of you guys are waiting for motivation to strike. So you're sitting still and you're waiting for some spark, some feeling, this big emotional push to make you move again. But listen to me. Motivation is like that toxic ex. Like, they're not necessarily bad people. They just not good for you. Because they show up, they make you feel real good. They tell you all these great things. They give you these grand promises, and they may even do it for a little bit. But per usual, at the right time, at the right moment, when you feel like you need them the most, it might show up and it might not. But movement is something you choose. And some breakthroughs don't happen on the mountaintop. Some won't come in the middle of your worship. It's not going to hit you during a podcast or during your Sunday sermon. They show up in the step, in the choice you make when everything in you says sit down and you stand up anyway. Your breakthrough might not be at the next peak, but it just might be in that very next step. And it's not a big one, but a faithful step. Just enough to say, I'm not quitting today. One of the most taught verses I feel like in the Bible is Psalms 23. And in that particular verse, we learn that we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. It doesn't say that we run through it. It says, even though I walk. And that hit me so different after doing this rim to rim. Matter of fact, when I made my caption for my Instagram video, that was part of my caption because it just took me on a whole different perspective when you actually go into a real valley, because it's low. And even if somebody wanted to help you, they put themselves in a lot of danger because of how deep the valley can be. So for God to be with us, to assure us that it's something so deep, so challenging, so hot, so draining, that if I continue to step, then he will continue to reveal himself. And there's gonna be times in your life where, yes, you will need to sprint. You're gonna need to go all in. You're gonna need to, put all your chips in. But let's be real. Sometimes you can't run. Sometimes you are literally too tired. Sometimes your soul is sore. Sometimes you're not gonna have enough energy to sprint. But if you can walk, you can win. Because if you can keep moving, even if it's slow, you're not defeated. And what I also learned is that the valley isn't there to destroy you. It's there to develop you. And God says, I'm with you while you walk. Not when you're perfect, not when you feel strong, but when your legs are heavy, your spirits are low, and you're still putting one foot in front of the other. That's when he walks with you. So no, you don't need to be fast. There's no need to be flashy. You don't need to go viral. You don't need to prove anything to anybody. You just need to keep walking. Because walking builds more than muscles. Walking builds momentum. And momentum builds faith. And faith is what carries you when your strength starts to give out. So if you don't know what else to do right now, get up, take a step, go outside, walk, think, process, breathe, move. Because sitting still in frustration won't fix it. But walking might just save your life. Thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Preacher Curls. I am Marvin Keon. Until next time, guys, don't be good. Be great. Peace.